ways of responding in positive rather than negative fashions. We've heard from Jared Diamond about analyzing the way societies and individuals and families and cultures respond. We've heard from Gao Shiqing with his ideas about the possibilities for reform, both in the United States and China and the world financial system. We've just heard from Jennifer Corriero about using web tools to mobilize the great energy of youth around the world. We're going to hear now about another way of thinking about and dealing with questions of change and wealth and poverty and development and wealth creation. We're going to hear about it from two people who basically need no introduction, so I'll just give you their names. I'd like you to join me in welcoming Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, who will be in discussion with Carlos Slim of Telmex in Mexico. Eric Schmidt and Carlos Slim.
Go ahead. Well, first, on behalf of Google, thank you all for joining us for today, last night, today, tonight, and tomorrow. It's going to be a great conference, and it's made special because of all of you here. I want to welcome Carlos Slim, my friend, who many people in the United States don't know. And what's interesting about Carlos is that we know him because of the success of Telmex. We know because of the movement of telecommunications and technology that he's driving in Latin America, but we don't know much else about what has driven his passion and his ideas. And I'd like to ask you a little bit about that. Before we do that, can you tell us a little bit about your company, Telmex? Just introduce the company. What does it do?
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for your invitation. When I was in high school, I read a book called Mathematics and Imagination, and I look what was Google, but we say Gogol. And I was thinking, what happened with Gogolplex? And now I know you have a Plaza Gogolplex. Congratulations for what you have done, and thank you for the invitation. Telmex is a traditional incumbent company that used to be in Mexico and was privatized at the end of 1990. And we make a group together with SBC, today AT&T. SBC was at Western Bell, that after that they both they merged with the 6 or 7 strong companies to make a U.S. national, and France Telecom. Southwestern Bell has 10% of the company, France Telecom 5.1, and the Mexican group used to have 10.4, from which we have a little more than 3%, and through a holding 5%. This company moved like all these incumbents in our countries that have still electromechanical equipment, switches, to a very modern company. We invest more in Mexico, more than $30 billion just in landline. But from there were a second in the market company in mobile, in cellular service, that called Telcel. And we begin to grow, mostly making them compete. Actually, Telmex is the smallest company. The big company is America Mobile. We are in all Latin America. We have more than 170 million customers. We grow more than 65% for 17 years. Every year, 65%.
Wow.
The first year, 67. And, well, 67 compound in 16 years. And, well, we have service every place. A ver si ponen la gráfica, ¿no? We have grown strongly in many countries. We have pushed the prepaid. We believe that we developed the concept of prepaid. We call it 95 or something like that in our crisis, the Gillette plan, to subsidize the handsets to sell shapes, to sell cars. I prepared this information. We can see how the penetration of mobile telephony has been in our countries. We have now many countries with more penetration in Latin America than U.S. That's mostly Argentina and Chile and Venezuela. The average we have is 72% against 61 of Canada. That's a more penetration than Canada. But what's interesting also in comparison with China, China has grown in these 5 years and 1 quarter 169%, and in Latin America we have grown 227.7%. And it's interesting to make clear that still Latin America has a bigger gross national product, gross domestic product that that China. And well, that's one point. That's the mobile that we are very glad what we have done. We are near all the countries in Latin America with a few exceptions. And the penetration, like I am telling is now will be 3 of every 4 people will have a mobile. And now we are going to 3 generation, 3G, and we are looking now how to take in our countries the digital culture. Instead of talking about alphabetization, talk about digital culture. And we have worked with MIT and with Negroponte sometime and working by our side. And we are pushing it by many ways with multiple platforms, looking to have a convergence and broadband in our countries as soon as possible. Not only for entertainment, but also for health, education, and etc. We are pushing that, and that's we have now from Telmex 3 companies. One is Telmex, that is Mexico. One is America Mobile, that is a big company with this mobile growing. And now we are developing a international Telmex International, working already in Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, and other countries.
So you have a reputation and a history for being an engineer and being very good with numbers. And one of your hobbies, as I know, is baseball statistics, and you keep it all in your head. But you have a strong view of how society will change. You believe in a new society, not an old society. Can you describe that for people? What is the society going to look like over the next few years?
Well, what is clear is that technology, advances in technology, some advances in productivity. But also it's clear that when technology change many of the sectors of the society, you have a revolution, a society revolution. You have a new kind of era, a new civilization. I think in great numbers we have four civilizations, 4 kinds of society. Nomadism with the hunting and recollection, the agricultural society, the industrial society. I think 2 steps of industrial society. First with the steam engine. With the steam engine, they came the railways and the steamboats, but also the production, industrial production, mining production, with agricultural production with the steam engine. And then in the 20th century, with the electricity and the internal combustion, you have the modern society. And that moved everything. They changed everything. But in the last years, the last maybe 40 or 50 after the Second War, the technology were advancing so much and the productivity was so high that now we are getting a society of services. If you look in U.S., maybe 85% of the people employed is in services, including the construction services. And what should be look is that the paradigms of the old societies are very different of the new society. In the agricultural society, you need slaves, you need workforce, social immobility, ignorance, and the power were monolithic. You have the same person where the emperador, the pharaoh, the king, the Tlatoani in America, the Inca in Peru, that was with the political power, but also came from divinity to have the religious. He was coming from divinity, no? And they have also the military power and the economic power. And these paradigms were completely different. Now the paradigms are very generous, very interesting, very motivated and the way that we need this new society is also very positive. The paradigms today are freedom, democracy, liberty, creativity, innovation, competition, globalization, human rights, environment, etc. And these paradigms will change the society.